not too long ago, a year or two ago, we passed a bill that says the lengthy permit process across the board is really stymieing a lot of businesses, including the approval of drugs. Ms. Malloy, there we go. And so we had the bill said you're going to set it 2 years. Have you seen this kick in yet at all? Have you seen this process be shortened at all as a result of this bill? Mr. Miller? Dr. Miller?
You mean the FDA review process?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
Because the process should have been shortened to 2 years. And Mr. Newell, your process is taking years and years and years.
The process has not been shortened.
Process has not been shortened, so our bill hasn't taken effect yet. We need to talk about that, don't we? Dr. Eagle, you work in the cancer realm, and in my district we have the largest nuclear reactor in the country at our on a university campus at the University of Missouri. About 95% of all the radiated drugs that are used in cancer are actually come from that, and actually used around the world, or come from that nuclear reactor. It's actually at the end of its lifespan, so we're trying to build a new one. But have you used those drugs? How important is it to you to be able to continue to allow that to happen? Because they do a lot of research there as well. I don't know if you've just been utilizing their services or not.
Thank you for the question. Those are vitally important drugs. We have a new prostate cancer drug that's that uses a targeted antibody plus a radiation therapy to treat prostate cancer. We use other types of tumors called neuroendocrine tumors, where that's a vital part of the therapy. It helps people extend lives with minimal toxicity. There'll be more of those therapies in the future. It's vital that patients have access to those treatments.
They do lots of research there. It's phenomenal. They have these little molecules that go circulating around the bloodstream, looking for cancer cells to go destroy. It's phenomenal stuff. So thank you for that. Dr. Eagle, you're involved in a practice, and the concern that I have here deals with this consolidation, just as you alluded to with your practice. So some people are going to this concierge care, where you pay a doctor to take care of you, whatever, for a certain price per year or whatever, and that's sort of the insurance policy for you to take care of it. Have you seen this already, and what do you think about it? Is it something that's growing?
I've seen that primarily in primary care. I've not seen that as much in specialty medicine. And cancer medicine, we try to make every patient a concierge care patient. We allow same-day walk-in visits. Patients don't have to have an appointment. Same-day infusions. I think the only place I've really seen that take hold is in the primary care sector, but not in other fields.
That goes back to the premise of this committee from the standpoint of the regulatory burden. I mean, it's so difficult for a small practice to continue to do this. Do the concierge care physicians, are they burdened by the same amount of rules and regulations? Have they found a way around this?
In that case, I think the primary change is the economics. They just operate under a different economic system. Private physicians have faced a decline in the fee schedule for 20 years now, and particularly when you adjust for inflation, payments to physicians has gone down by 26% for private physicians. So I think the concierge model of care is just an effort by certain primary care physicians to solve that problem and spend more time with their patients and not have to be their care so volume driven.
Mr. Newell, you're in the business of developing drugs. I saw the other day where artificial intelligence actually developed a drug for a disease. They put in there the parameters to do something, and this, artificial intelligence came up with a drug. I mean, is this the wave of the future? Is that am I correct in that? Or
we do use artificial intelligence or machine learning to help us identify better targets for our medicines, and perhaps in certain cases, the structure of the medicine that we're going to be making.
Would that make it cheaper, or does that make it more expensive?
It's to be determined. I personally do not believe that a medicine will be fully developed using artificial intelligence. There are too many variables in the human body for us to take into consideration at this point in time. Cancer in particular is a very heterogeneous disease, and so what works in one patient may not work in another. And so I think at the end of the day, we need to really be cautious about AI, but it can be helpful in development.
Very good. One more question for Dr. Miller. The administration is working on descheduling cannabis from Schedule 1 down to Schedule 3, I believe it is. And part of the problem is USDA or FDA has never done the research to be able to say that this is justified. Can you comment on that?
I think that there's still a lot of work to be done to determine what should be done with cannabis. There are several prescription drug approved formulations of THC. The FDA doesn't have an adequate framework to regulate the other forms of cannabis to ensure that's safe and effective for the average consumer.
Thank you very much. My time's expired.
Gentleman yields back. I now recognize